Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Operation Newblood. This is Newblood 10 point, or this will be 11.5 and 11.6. I think I just forgot to move that 11.5 and 11.6. We'll go ahead and get started with the British tech rolls. The British will be rolling for airborne doctrine and improved construction. So, I don't know why that's there. It should be airborne doctrine and long range aircraft is what I'll be rolling for. Airborne doctrine at a 7 plus, and that's a 10. So that moves up to stage 3, and long range aircraft at an 8 plus, and that's a 2, so that fails. Okay. We'll go to place units. The British have 21 to spend. They'll be spending 8 on 2 mechanized infantry, 10 on a fighter, and 3 on an infantry. Okay. The FEC will be spending 15 of their 16, so they'll save 1. They are buying 2 Gurkhas, an infantry, a militia, and they are also upgrading 1 militia as well. The Anzac, they are buying, they have, because of convoy rating, they lost 2. So they have 5 to spend. They will be buying an infantry and upgrading a militia. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with combat. We do have quite a few combat here, so we'll go ahead and back y'all up here. Okay. So we have the British submarine here doing a convoy raid on this German line. We have the British task force. Go ahead and move this. The British task force moving 1 to A6 to blockade Northern England, and it will also be joined by the British destroyer that's on escort duty. It'll come off escort duty, and it does have a bonus of the major port, the major Canadian port. So it will move 1, 2, 3, and 4, and join the British task force in A6. Okay. That should be all the combat at Britain. We'll move on to the British over here. Okay. So we have the Anzac destroyer with the infantry and motorized. They will be traveling over to Cape Town. Part of Cape Town is in connected to C-Zone I-1, so they will be doing an amphibious assault. The motorized infantry not joining until round 2, and they will be joined by the British battle cruiser doing a shore bombardment at a 3 or less. Okay. Let me move y'all back over. Over there. Okay. The Gurkhas in Anam Tonkin will combat move to Cochin, China, where that is a no. They have no troops in there, so it'll be just a walk-in. And okay, so the light cruiser in I-9, the destroyer in I-12, it's on escort duty, and the ships in P-69 will all move. The cruiser in I-9 moving 3, the destroyer in I-9 moving 3, and the ships in P-69 all moving 3. They will be attacking or attempting to attack the one ship fell. They will be attempting to do a attack on the German battle cruiser. Okay, and I counted the ships, so it's a +1 per attacking ship, and the battle cruiser is an automatic 8+ modifier for the battle cruiser. It's for the surface raider, so we will have to roll to see if we can attack that. Okay, and that should be all the combat that we have. Okay. Right, let's go ahead and move back over to the dice board. Move you up just a little bit. Okay. Let's go ahead and zoom in here. All right. So we have the first battle that is between, or not between, but the British sub in A7 is doing a convoy raid on the German line, a max of 2 IPP, and the sub has a modifier of +2. Okay, so we'll be using a red and a black dice. The Germans will be black, the British will be red. Okay, Germans will be black, British. Okay, so modifier of 2, so that is a max of 2 taken off, 2 IPP taken off the German cash on hand. Okay, so we will move on to the battle in Cape Town. So we'll start with the shore bombardment of the battle cruiser in Cape Town at a 3 or less. That's an 8, so it fails. And we'll go ahead and move on to the infantry attacking at a 1. And that's a 2, so that's a fail. Motorized hasn't landed yet. And the infantry gets a defense at a 5. And that's a hit. So it will take off the infantry, but the motorized has now landed, and it attacks, I think still at a 2. But with the amphibious, not seeing anything on amphibious on the combat modifier. Okay. Yeah, I'm not, so it should still, motorized, should still attack at a 2, yeah. So they'll attack at a 2. And that's a 6, so that's a fail. The infantry defends at a 5. That's a 6, so that's a fail. Motorized at a 2. That's a 1, so that's a hit. and infantry. Oh, just drop the dice. We'll use a different one. Infantry at a 5. And that's an 11, so that's a fail. So we succeeded on our attack. We did lose the infantry. So I will take that off there, and once we're through with the combats, we'll show you guys what's going on. Okay, so we have and we have the Gurkhas. We have the Gurkhas in Anatonkin moving into Cochin China. That will move the FEC up 1 to 17. So 17, just do that real fast. And we'll start with the battlecruiser. So 2 die 6 battlecruiser at a modifier of +8, and the ships, each one's +1, so +6. British will be red and Germans will be black. So let's do it. Okay, so that's should be, so 5 + 8 is 13, and 6 + 6 is 12. So they do fail. So there is no combat there. So the raider slips by our grasp. All right, so that should be all of the combat I have for the Commonwealth. So we will move into non-combat. And I will go ahead and pick y'all up here. We'll zoom out, pick y'all up, and we'll get started here. And and we will do a update. In C-Zone A6, we have a battleship, 3 heavy cruisers, 2 light cruisers, a coastal defense ship, a torpedo boat destroyer, and a regular destroyer in A6, all blockading northern England as well as Scotland for that matter. Okay, because they do share the same sea zone there. Okay, and the next so non-combat, the infantry in London will all move to southern England, joined by the fighter and the tank, where those fighters can scramble. And that should be it there. So let's go ahead and show y'all what's going on over in Africa. So this infantry died. That is now English, or I'm sorry, that's Anzac now. It does swim ashore with the no, that stays there, with the motorized infantry. Okay. So that should be it. That should be it that we have down here. The transport that was left in I-9, it will travel 1, 2 to southern England. Go ahead and put y'all down because I know I'm shaking. All right, so okay, you guys can still see. All right, so take that off. So it will stay there. 2 infantry, 1 from Calcutta and 1 from Bengal, will railroad to southern India. The fighter in Calcutta will move to Maharashtra, as well as the planes that were in Burma. Okay. Oh, I'm putting it in the wrong place. They will all be in Maharashtra. Okay. So, okay. These Gurkhas will all move. One will move into Siam. The other will move down into, which that was in Burma, I guess, wasn't it? So that will move into Siam as well. Okay, and these Gurkhas that were in Siam, they will move down to British Malaya. Okay, I think that should be good there. And we'll move over to the Anzac party going on over there. Okay, so I think all that I have is the Sydney fighter will move to 1, 2, 3. Actually, it will move 1, 2, 3 to Western Australia. Okay. And that should be all that I have there. Okay. Really wish we would have landed on that battle cruiser, but it is what it is. So we'll continue on with the placing of units. All right. So all of the units that we bought will be placed in London. That fighter piggybacking on the transport. Okay. So that, want to make sure everything's separate here. Okay. So for unit update in Southern England, there are 9 infantry, 2 fighters, and a tank, as well as 1 militia. Well, I think I counted that as infantry. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 infantry and 1 militia, 2 fighters and a tank. And then in London, I have air transport, 2 airborne, 2 mechanized, anti-air, and an infantry. I don't know if there's 1 fighter. Make sure I called that out. Okay. Yeah, okay. We'll continue on with the FEC and Anzac. So, the Anzac are placing a militia into Anatonkin. They're upgrading the militia in Calcutta. And then they are buying 2 Gurkhas and placing them in Burma. Okay. And and they're also buying an infantry and placing it in Calcutta. I was wondering why I had that in my hand. And then in Sydney, They're just buying that one infantry and upgrading the other infantry in Sydney. Okay, so in Sydney there's a Marine and 4 infantry, and that should be all I have. We'll go ahead and move on to income. Yeah, move on to income. Okay, let's move around here to the income board. So the FEC, they were at 16, they moved up to 17. The Anzac, they move up 1 for taking Cape Town. And that should be it for them. We'll go ahead and move my Canada Dry there and go on to income that we're gaining. So the British, they get 16 plus 2 for Iran, so they get 18. So let me grab it. So they have 18 to spend. So 18 to spend. The FEC, they are at 17, and they saved 1, so they will have 18 to spend next turn. So that's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. I should have 18, so make sure I count that right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, just making sure I got that right. I know math are hard. And then the Anzac, they will get 8. Right. Yeah, 8. So let's grab those. Okay. We'll put those there. All right. Moving on to the French. They do have units, or they only have 1 unit that they're dealing with, and they have 2 to spend. So they will be upgrading the infantry in Cameroon, or upgrading the militia in Cameroon, and they will be combat moving all their units in Belgian Congo to Rhodesia. And they'll be moving the 1 infantry that wasn't upgraded to the Belgian Congo. Okay. And let's take that away. Take that away. And let me grab a few markers real fast. And that's a French deal there. So wherever my French roundels may be, there it is. Okay. So placing that 1 roundel in Cochin, China, and placing that roundel there, which will move them up 1. Moving that there. And that was a walk-in. So the Free French will move from 2 to 3. Okay. And they will have 3 to spend next turn. Alright. So that should be all that I have for the British Commonwealth, and Free French. So I will give it over to Captain G for the Italian turn. This is Laser Bolt signing out. Thanks.